What is up, DJ? I'm nethervvoid, also known as John, doing some more WAP patch videos for you. I remember I said before that when I do patch videos from now on, I'm going to be blasting them all out when the patch goes on the test server, instead of waiting, 1 week for each video, just because it makes more sense to do that. It gets the videos out there more when people actually want to see them, because after the patch already comes out, they're just not as valuable. So in this game, I'm playing the Tier 8 medium T-34-2 or T-34-2, whichever way you want to say it, from the Chinese medium line, again, which is split from the Chinese light line. I'll be covering the Tier 8 Chinese light in another replay, in another video. Here I'm just pushing this T-28 Pro up the hill. Really helps when you can get your TDs into position very early. It doesn't matter as much in this game, but when they're more arty, especially, because if they get spotted early, they can get taken out rather quickly, and it really hurts your team to have your big TDs be taken out so fast. So the one thing I can say right off the bat about this tank is the mobility is just ridiculous. It's got super fast acceleration, great traverse, and it's got a really super fast high top speed. I think it's in the 60s. The gun on it leaves a little to be desired as a 181 pen, but it's still pretty awesome. Especially for basically this is a flanking tank, and at 181 it's actually got some better pen than even some heavies. Not a lot of heavies. The IS-6 comes to mind. The damage on it is, yeah, it's a little low at 250 for a quote-unquote Russian style gun, but the reload speed's amazing on this gun. It's just absolutely great. I really like this tank. Again, it can be difficult in random battles to flank, but if you can, this tank will ruin people. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the maneuverability in this game, even though it ends with me being killed rather quickly, like I talked about when you flank, the whole enemy team who are camping turns to shoot at you. So this is a Tier 8 game, which in this tank I did get into a lot of Tier 10 games. I don't know if it has more of the scout type matchmaking. I think it just has typical matchmaking. Well, actually for Tier 8 shouldn't be getting into Tier 10 games. Oh wait, yeah, you can. That's right. It's 2 tiers above and below. I forgot about that. So that's pretty typical, but I did find myself in a lot of Tier 10 games. Again, that's probably because on the test server a lot more people play Tier 10s, so that's to be expected. It's not super accurate, but it's pretty accurate little gun. Sniping at 400 meters. Finally got a hit on the IS-6. It's a little harder when they're moving just because the shell has to travel so far. Now, in real life, shells travel a lot faster than this. At 400 meters, the shell would get there quite a bit sooner, I think. I'm not really an expert, but it just seems like the shells travel a lot slower than in real life. So the Hellcat, again, if you're bouncing back and forth side to side like that, it makes it really hard for people to hit you, because they fire and then, well, he got taken out there because he was in a predictable movement speed there. So taking out the Hellcat, which is nothing really to write home about, is for this tank. It should be pretty easy. So really enjoying this tank. I'm actually going to speed it up a tiny bit because there's a lot of time where I'm just waiting for guys to show up. Another 34-2. He's really just moving very slowly. This tank needs to keep moving, needs to keep juking and jiving. We're getting taken out pretty heavily on the south side here. Also the north, we're getting pounded. Because on this map, Redshire, the north really has the advantage with that hill. Now, they did take away some of the advantage. Can I zoom out? Yeah. This hill is a lot more sloped, which makes it a lot harder for these guys to push up this hill. And the north, the hill does not extend as far out south as it used to, as far as scouting positions. So that helps a lot as far as taking that advantage away from the north side team. But you can see at C4, you can still pretty much scout that whole side and also remain in cover for quite a long time. And now that this side of the hill is so much more sloped, it's a lot easier for them to shoot at the people here who are trying to help scout and take people out. T-71, that's the American Tier 7 autoloader light that just came out in patch 8.2. Pretty sweet little gun tank. I don't particularly like it just because it's, again, one of those gambling tanks. You either have a really awesome game or you die in 3 seconds. That's not really the kind of tank I like. Trying to get a shot on him. while he was just sitting there, but he got the other guy got him. Super Persh. Here's a T-71 trying to scout, probably doing what you should be doing in a T-71, but he did not think the T-34-2 was going to be here. Yeah! No one expected the Spanish Inquisition. Boom! Nice hit on that guy. He's trying to get away back to his buddies. And with this gun, I don't have to aim a lot because I know I can pin this guy. Boom! You're dead. Now I spot Artie. I'm way deep in enemy lines. Just going to keep going. Again, I'm getting shot at by everybody on their team now. Everybody has stopped what they're doing to take me out. And I think a lot of this has to do with so much suicide scouting that people just wait now for the scouts to come out. Big hit on my engine right there. And I do take out the Artie, but I get focus fired down by everybody else on their team, namely the big TDs. I don't know if I have any end plates. If I don't, let me know what you think about this tank. If I do, hold on. Sweet, I do have end plates. Okay, so end plate number 1 here, pretty okay game, 900 XP. That Redshire map is a little bit harder to do really well on. They took away some of the places to hide and stuff. It's just a little bit harder for people who are, and they made it, those really open maps are fine, but you can't have it. I just hate where you have to be moving the entire game to freaking have a good game, because it's, again, it's just too much of a gamble for me. I don't like that style of play because I either have an awesome game because the team is stupid, or when you have really good players, that's just going to get you killed. So I don't know. I don't like to leave it up to chance like that. So pretty good game though still. 3 kills, damage on 4 different guys, spotted 2 guys, being really aggressive with the spotting. Not the highest on the list as far as XP because I got taken out so early. Was it a victory? I didn't even look at that. Yeah, we did win. A lot of that was probably because I took the heat off those 1 guys and let them push. Again, I don't like to sacrifice myself for the team, but I'm noticing I'm having to do that a lot more. Because people just sit there and wait and they just camp. They won't move out. And the way you win in this game is be aggressive. If you can be aggressive, you'll win. Especially against teams that are being very defensive. You can be aggressive and win, and that's kind of how it helps us out a lot. 19 shots fired, only 8 hits. Again, that was because this is not really a sniper tank. It's good tank, but the guns on these obviously Russian tanks have never been known for their accuracy. So not a great little snipe tank. Although out of the 8 shots I did hit 7 on the pen, which is really nice. So the 181 pen's actually pretty good, especially if you start to break out into enemy lines and stuff. You're going to have a great time. It's easy to shoot people in the side and the back with 181 pen. So pretty nice little game. Let's look at the stats. 580 engine horsepower, pushing 34 tons. Could be a little better. That's about 15 to 1 power to weight ratio. The acceleration on it still feels pretty good. 50 speed limit, it feels faster than 50. I felt like I was getting into the 60s. That might be that tier 8 light that I'm talking about though, but this is a very maneuverable tank. It's got 92 traverse, which is obvious when you're playing it, really awesome. 70 hull armor, so the hull armor's not really there as like it is on the tier 9. You're not going to bounce a lot of shots. You definitely need to flank with this tank. 180 on the turret armor, again, not the greatest. You're probably going to get pinned by tier 9s and 10s. 380 view range, 750 meter radio, 7.06 rate of fire on this gun. It's not as fast as I thought it was, but it's still really good. But if you like that rate of fire and pen, you're really going to like the tier 7 light. It's got a much better gun. The pen's a little bit lower, but again, the mobility is so high. It's all about flanking and breaking into enemy lines. So watch for that video. Let me know what you think about the T-34-2. It's a pretty good tank. The tier 9 is leaps and bounds better, but the tier 8 still a pretty good tank. It can definitely go head to head with the T-44. And I think the Pershing, I would probably take the Pershing over this tank just because it's a little more hardy. And again, like I said, it's a lot harder to flank than it used to be. So I would take the Pershing over this tank. But anyway, that's what I think about this tank. Let me know what you think. Later.